Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Club. It's so lovely, Sonal, to have you and me here together in Delhi finally. It feels like it's been a long time waiting. I'm Toya Singh joining you, as we just said, from New Delhi.
What am I rejoicing about? About being here in this exhaust chamber. And yes, by the way, that is me. It's not AI. It's just what Delhi pollution has done to voice. So hello and welcome to the Breakfast Club from this exhaust chamber. But don't worry, beyond this also there are several stories that we've got for you. Also solutions on the program coming up. Let's get started. Thick smog continues to engulf the national capital, decoding the pollution problem. What's really causing it? Why and how is this pollution only getting worse year after year? Leading environmentalist Ankita Patwa joins us on the broadcast.
And how can you take care of yourself amid all of this pollution? And in particular, we're looking at how it affects your skin. So what are the common skin issues that crop up at this time? How do you know that it is pollution related when it is coming to you? And what are the essentials that you can do? We're going to bring you the quick fix right here on the show.
Also talking about fixing things. We can't fix your lungs just yet, but what about the heart? There's a new era in cardiology that's kicking off, which is a new way of bringing out pacemaker. The minimally invasive heart procedure, Dr. Balbir Singh's leadless pacemaker implant. What is it all about and how is it changing lives of people? We'll bring you that on the show.
And right after that, the talk of the town, in fact, the talk across the world right now, a tribute to a tennis titan, Federer's heartfelt farewell letter to his fiercest rival. We're talking about no one else but Rafa Nadal. What did he say? He said, Rafa, you made me a better player. That and more right here on the show.
And then we bring back Keeping Up with AI on the program. This time we bring you a global voice to tell you what the next big leap is all about, the transformative power and the intersection of tech and finance. All of that coming up. All right, let's start with the story that is really on everybody's mind, and we don't really have to tell you all about it. It is the toxic pollution that has wrapped itself around our city, suffocating the very life out of us. The question echoes, though, the darkness that's killing us. Is it the smoke that chokes your lung? Is it the smog that blinds your eyes, gives you a headache? Or the silence from the authorities that sort of deafens our conscience as well? On TBC, you see the impact there? On TBC, we shatter the silence and confront the monster that's devouring our future. The question on everybody's mind is, what's the real cause of this pollution pandemic?
Right, we're going to take a deeper look at that today. There's been this large conversation in the last few days over whether it's vehicular emissions that are clogging our roads or if it's in fact stubble burning, the main culprit we look at every single year. On TBC, we're going to be diving right into the heart of the crisis today. We're going to be exploring the actual cause of pollution, the complexities of climate change that we're seeing take place, the consequences, of course, of our consumption patterns. And we'll also examine the why behind the pollution and what we can do to avoid the aftermath. But let's not forget, as we navigate the murky world of pollution, we also want to get you the solutions on this entire story. So before we do that, before we take you any further, we just want to bring you a pollution check-in of sorts. So let's take a look very quickly at all of the numbers that we've got coming in right now from across Delhi. This map, and as you can see, the colors pointing out the range here, but let's take you very quickly here to these numbers. So the current AQI coming in as we speak is 379, but it's of course distributed in different areas, and you've got much starker numbers coming in other parts. Jahangirpuri, for example, pulling in a 435. We are also looking right now at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. It's got a 354. Lodi Road, center of Delhi, typically you do see green pockets here because of the Lodi Park, but 372, not much lower than the rest of the city. What we're seeing essentially is a continuing of the patterns we've seen since over the weekend and Monday, where numbers have been really bad. We're not seeing that fall take place. Najafgarh, you've got 366, Narela 395. Now, let's just go over. We hope that gives you a taste of the kind of numbers we're seeing right now across the capital. But to bring you more context, more understanding as to why the numbers continue to be this way, what the contributing factors are, we have an expert right here with us on the show.
All right, joining us live now is Ankita Sameer Patwa. She's a renowned environmentalist and with over a decade of expertise in environment, footprinting, carbon emissions management and ESG consulting as well. As a founder of the Green Solve LLC and environmental manager at the leading MNC, Ankita has helped companies reduce their environmental footprint and manage projects with values of going over 5 million as well. So let's understand these details a little bit, Ankita, from you. And it's not just about understanding what's causing it. We also want to get down to solution. But what's particularly and what's peculiar this time around of the year and in 2025 pollution is that because of delay in harvesting, the crop burning is not even at its peak. So we have not seen the worst of it. And yet our numbers are breaking records of the past 5 years. Delhi yet again has become the most polluted city in the world. So if crop burning is not at its peak, is not as bad as the last few years, then what's causing this?
Okay, thank you for having me over here today. I'm going to start with giving you a very simple explanation of what smog actually means, and then we'll dive deeper into what's causing, why are we seeing these increased numbers in AQI ranges. So basically, smog is a combination of nitrogen oxides with volatile organic compounds. When they react with sunlight, it causes smog. And typically, when you see all these emissions, in simple language, you see these emissions coming from vehicle emissions. You see these emissions coming from industrial activities. Stubble burning is one of them, and then worsened weather conditions. So as you rightfully mentioned, stubble burning has been low this year. But what's the prime reason is vehicular emissions. Vehicular emissions alone contributes towards 40% of the carbon emissions that you're seeing, and that's causing the higher AQI levels.
Okay, so tell us, speaking of vehicular emissions, there's been a lot of criticism around GRAP 4 coming into play, but coming into play too late. Do you agree with that sort of analysis of the situation? Do you think it should have been put into place a lot earlier?
Yes, absolutely. The GRAP was formed for a prime reason of emergency environmental activities. So instead of being preventative, we're being reactive. And that's what's causing the failure. So GRAP 4 should have been implemented ahead of time to see long-term results. Environmental climate change is not such type of activity where you make changes overnight and you expect to see the results immediately. It's a long-term run. So GRAP 4, rightfully so, should have been implemented long time ago, roughly around to see the rightful implementation, I'd say at least a couple years.
Yeah, Ankita, I want to get a long-term perspective here. Just zoom out of the situation a little bit to not just see smog as an issue or air pollution as an issue of this year of 2024. Let's go back 5 years when this has been happening. And this year particularly worse. I'm coming back to the question of why, despite stubble burning being low, this year is particularly so bad because vehicles are the same if they are. Our emissions are on expected lines, right? So what's really causing it and what is it? You're right when we are being reactive about it. Now the Supreme Court has also jumped in. But what exactly is the source of it? Are we missing a point here?
So the three whys to this situation is first is urban growth. We're so worried about like rapid urbanization, increase in vehicles, construction activities. Every other road you see there's so much construction going on, like builders and government construction and all these infrastructure activities that we're doing. But where are stricter enforcements for dust control? Dust control alone can help you save 15 to 20% of your AQI. It has been implemented in countries like China when they were in the same situation back in 2013. Their AQI levels were 500, but just by implementing these dust control measures, they were able to reduce their AQI levels by 15 to 20%. And that's just easy implementation of stricter enforcement by the government policies.
Ankita, I want to ask you, because you're an environmentalist, is this an issue where you think, because it seems like what you're saying is the government needs to be stricter in implementation. This time, though, when you're seeing the civic reaction, are you surprised, that people aren't protesting more loudly, or do you think this is the loudest we're going to get on this issue?
I think this is the loudest we've ever been in the longest time. This is when actually people from every age group are actually addressing this issue in a way that I've never seen before. You see a age group from like 10 to 50, everybody's concerned about the environment because rightfully said so, because after COVID, everybody has seen those impacts on their health. So I think that's made everybody realize the importance of our activities and how that contributes to the environment. And just by COVID, we've seen how the environment gives it back to you. I think if you've seen that popular meme on Instagram where we saw the trash coming back on the shores of Mumbai, it's the nature given back. So I think this is the loudest we've been.
Yeah, but I don't know, I beg to differ on this one. I think people in Delhi and National Capital Region have just gone into a state of apathy. I think people have just given up. They say this is not going to change, and that's the worry. We can't give up the fight just yet. This air emergency has to be tackled, which brings me to some solutions then, Ankita. I'm seeing people, the sad part is not enough people are wearing N95 masks still all around us. We see people saying, oh, this is a every year phenomena now, my lungs are used to. But the doctors in clinics are giving you very different evidence. They're saying more and more people are getting admitted, more and more new kind of diseases are developing as well. So as somebody who wants to protect themselves, apart from doing the regular, get your HEPA filters up, get your N95s on your face all the time, sort of if you are doing long drives, get an air purifier in your car as well. What other things can one really do?
I think individual implementation starts with primarily, I'm going to go back to the first point, is first government should be incentivizing individual activities because that's going to help you, get a better approach or bring you more awareness, public awareness in terms of activities that need to be conducted. And there are so many activities. You could go for a ride, you could go for a walk, but given the AQI levels, that's not possible. So individual activities like saving water or, planting trees is the only option. But your doctor control measures are going to be, yes, of course, using N95s, HEPA filters, that's your best bet right now. Unless the government implements stricter regulations, just by individual activities, you're going to see minimum impact.
I want to circle back, Ankita, for a second to what you started with. If I were to ask you what should citizens of Delhi be asking for at this time, is your answer actually not at this time? The whole year we need something like GRAP 4 to actually get the situation in control?
Yes, absolutely. This is not a one-time thing. This is something that needs to be implemented all year round to see an actual impact and to see long-term results.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see how it's counterintuitive because she's saying don't incentivize citizens. But what's happening with GRAP 4 is you're actually putting in more restrictions. It's inconvenience as well. So the government's got to figure out a middle path here. Government's got to figure out, okay, what do we do at a macro level so that for these 2 months we don't really go in for a massive response, like you said, and not an emergency check beforehand.
Right.
That is indeed interesting. Perhaps not the answer we have just yet, but here's hoping. And here's doing our bit also to highlight, because we're getting comments that air pollution not just a Delhi NCR problem. In Punjab, it's a massive issue. In Haryana as well. All of the northern belt only seems to be increasing, every year with that red map that you showed there, Toya. It's just everywhere.
Mumbai too, where you're coming from.
Mumbai as well. It's not as bad. It's still 200 there, but even for Mumbai 200 is too much. So it's an all India sort of a problem, barring South at least, that we are seeing. So we've got to look at a hard look at this. Thank you, Ankita, for joining us with the very latest and your perspective. But as the air we breathe slowly poisons our pores and the pollution we can't escape sort of aches its mark on us, the question actually that's haunting us at the moment is that what's the true cost of the toxic environment on your skin as well? Joining us now is Dr. Geeta Sajit, and she's a leading dermatologist who's worked up on top celebrities and founded the Skin and You Clinic. Dr. Geeta sort of explains to us in a little more detail on the issue.
Right, we have so many experts we try to get on the show every day to kind of bring you the health impacts, but also obviously how you can protect yourself and your family. We thought we'd have Dr. Geeta join us to tell us exactly this. Whether or not it's daily skincare routine changes you can make at this time, how you can protect yourself, because it's not just your lungs, though obviously that's the most important, it's also your skin. Take a look, listen in.
Thank you, Toya and Sonal, for having me at the Breakfast Club. Pollution causes oxidative stress on our system. This releases unstable molecules called free radicals. These free radicals decrease the antioxidants in our body. Antioxidants are produced from the food that we eat, the vitamins that we take, and also we get them from skincare. When the amount of antioxidants become less as compared to the free radicals that are produced, we tend to see changes like changes in the lipid barrier, which causes dryness. We also see changes which can be like dermatitis, we can see itching on the skin, we can see allergies, allergic reactions. We end up also seeing inflammatory, because of the inflammatory changes, we can see our present conditions get worse like eczema, psoriasis. You can also see acne getting worse because of the clogging of the pores. We also see various chemical acne conditions like chloracne, these are also seen. We see changes in the hair, we can see changes in the eyes. So the hair tend to get dry, brittle, we see hair loss. We can see changes in the eyes, there can be dryness of the eyes, itching, we see dryness around the eyes area. We can also see changes in our nails. The nails tend to get dry, they tend to break easily. Allergic reactions are extremely common because of pollution. So these are some of the things that we should take care and be careful of. What are the best ways to avoid it? First and the best way is please hydrate yourself. Our skin, our body is made up of water. Hydration takes a good care of it. Secondly, that what we can do is we can try and add antioxidants. So see that your diet is very rich and healthy in colored fruits and vegetables. Also, you can increase the intake of meat, chicken, fish. All these will give you a good amount of antioxidants. Third thing would be to add vitamins. You can add vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc, superoxide dismutase, glutathione. These are all very good antioxidants to be taken. Fourth, please try and avoid going outdoors as much as possible. Fifth, if you do have to go outdoors, please cover yourself. Wear a mask, wear a bandana, cover your hair. Do all these things as much as possible. Sixth would be when you're back from outside, see that you wash yourself very well. Use a good face wash, use an SLS-free shampoo, and after that, don't forget to moisturize. Hydrating the skin back again is very important. I told you that pollution is completely destroying your lipid barrier at the moment. And last, please invest in a good air purifier, because at least the 10 to 12 hours that you're indoors, in your bedroom, you are at least breathing an AQI which is in the tolerable range. Might not be very healthy, but it is still not so bad. So these are my best tips to you.
All right, so that was all about what you can do with the air emergency, with your lungs, with your skin as well. And like we said, the best way is to just ensure that you have your mask on. It'll also protect your face in one way, if that's anything to go by. But on that note, let's take you through to all the other stories that are coming in from India and across the globe. A powerful storm pounded Washington state on Wednesday, knocking out the power of hundreds of thousands of people while disrupting road travel and causing at least 2 deaths and 2 injuries. The storm, called the bomb cyclone, when the storm rapidly intensifies, will stall over North California in the next few days, according to the National Weather Service. And the local officials said that a woman was killed on Tuesday when a tree fell on a homeless sort of encampment in Linwood, north of Seattle.
And what you can see in the next visuals coming in, a celebration of Guinness World Records Day on Thursday. And what you can see is the tallest woman, that's her on your screens, and the shortest woman having afternoon tea together in London. They were honored by record-breaking experts as icons. You'd recognize the shorter one. We'll bring you details about both. First, 7 foot tall. There you have Rumesia Gelgi there. She's a researcher from Turkey. And she's towering over. You may recognize Jyoti Amge. She's an actor from India. She stands at just 62.8 centimeters. The height difference proving no barrier for the friendship. The pair enjoying each other's company at the meetup in the Savoy Hotel in London.
Mexico marks the 114th anniversary of the revolution on Wednesday with a massive downtown parade in the capital that paid special tribute to women participation in the armed forces. Thousands of Mexicans dressed in revolutionary attire paraded along Reforma Avenue, one of Mexico City's main streets, towards the Zocalo Square in front of the National Palace, where President Claudine addressed the attendees. Now, participants reenacted the battle of the revolutionary struggle during the parade, and this was Mexico's Revolution Day, celebrated in Mexico on their official holiday.
And we're taking you now to an update on a US marketing giant. Shares of Target tumbling more than 20% on Wednesday after the retailer's holiday outlook hit investors like a lump of coal. Target's sales and profit forecasts for the holiday quarter were below estimates. Remember, Target is one of the biggest players in the United States apart from Walmart. It's a stark contrast from results from Walmart, which a day earlier raised its annual sales and profit forecast for the third consecutive time. Target has cut prices on thousands of items ahead of the holiday season, and it's also offering discounts on food, beverages and toys.
Japanese manicurist Naomi Arimoto visits the beach near her home south of Tokyo every month to gather microplastics that other cleaners might miss. Now, after collecting the plastic, she also molds them into decorative tips to put as false nails, imagine or not, at her salon. This is Alice Rizzo with the report.
This Japanese nail artist has a way of raising awareness about plastic pollution at her fingertips.
This is a piece of the artificial lawn that is put in gardens in Japan. There's always a lot of this lying around.
Naomi Arimoto searches beaches like this for small pieces of plastic waste, which she then molds into nail art. Formerly a social worker, Arimoto was forced to give up her career due to a spinal condition. She opened a nail salon in her home in 2018. After taking part in community cleanups along the coast, she was inspired to make upcycled nails. Prices for a set of upcycled nails start at around $83.
I hope that by putting these in front of people's eyes on their fingertips, they'll enjoy fashion while also becoming more aware of environmental issues.
However, Arimoto acknowledges that her work is just a drop in the ocean of plastic pollution. An estimated 20 million metric tons of plastic waste is dumped into the environment each year, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature.
I think plastic waste is an issue that every single person in the world needs to be aware of. There's no way to solve it alone.
Okay, and now let's take you to a work of art. What you're looking at right now is a piece by Claude Monet, Nymphaeus. It netted $59 million during Sotheby's autumn art sale in New York on Monday. The 17-minute bidding process. It started at $40 million. This is before landing on $65.5 million with fees. The painting was part of the collection of the late beauty industry entrepreneur Sidel Miller. Now, this was the first time this piece that you're looking up had actually come for auction, and that's when it fetched this price. All right, we're going to be heading into a quick break. On the other side, we're taking a look at a person of interest who's signaling and bringing in a wave of change with a new era in cardiology in particular. The future of cardiology is here with the pacemaker pioneer. It's a minimally invasive heart procedure. Dr. Balbir Singh's leadless pacemaker implant. Our colleague Ashya brings you this report. Take a look at it.
it'll be decisive. There won't be votes for others. It'll be this way or that way.
Even though there are 6 parties instead of 4, the choice before the voter is one of 2. Right. It's quite a binary choice. So it has to be either MVA or has to be Mahayuti.
I think we've got Pankaja Munde with us. Pankaja ji, namaste. The numbers are just coming through. The overall voter turnout is settling in. What's the situation on ground? What's your understanding?
Frankly, I've been traveling all over the state. I've been campaigning for a lot of assemblies. For me, I'm very, very sure the response we got while campaigning also, we are very sure that we will win with like proper margin. We will get... can you hear me? Because
yes, I can. Yeah, I know you're on the move, but we can hear you. We can hear you. No, compared to June, April, May, June and abhi November, kya fark pada hai? Is there a change in the situation on ground and how has it changed? Because I know you got very emotional with what happened in your own constituency with the results at that time, and I was following it very carefully. But is there a shift? Is there a change in the mood on ground? And how?
Yeah, of course there is a change in the mood on the ground because I got emotional not because of the election results. I got emotional because of the suicides happened after my election result was declared. So I was very worried about the reaction from people, and they were very disheartened. But now what I am seeing here, the fake narrative created in the parliamentary election is totally minimized. Like there is no basically presence of fake narrative. So people are understanding this kind of campaigning is done to gain votes, and they are now focusing on the development issues and what the schemes we have as a government from Maharashtra government and central government, we have delivered. So we only totally focused on that. And we are getting very, very good response.
Just getting our thoughts on the 2 exit pollsters who have come in so far, PMark and Matriz.
Sure.
Both PMark is giving about 137 to 157 to the Mahayuti. Matriz is given anywhere between 150 to 170. That's the gap for Matriz. So 2 people who are saying that somewhere it is the Mahayuti that is coming in, perhaps comfortably around 150 is the number, 154 is the median. Will you take this number or do you believe otherwise?
Yeah, nothing lesser than this. Nothing lesser than this. We will take, I'm very sure we'll get clean majority. We'll get Bahumat Sarkar.
Ms. Munde, all of this, of course, depends on how the BJP bounces back in Vidarbha. What are the conditions on the ground there for a resurgence of the BJP in both these areas, Vidarbha and Marathwada, where they didn't do so well about 5 months ago?
Yeah, there are 2 totally different conditions. As I said, the narrative in parliamentary election was totally different. The fight was totally different. It was very emotional fight for Maratha community, and they were driven totally. It was totally a spirit was created in Marathwada. And Vidarbha, I'm saying, because Vidarbha we always been winning large number of seats. So basically maintaining the number is always again a different case altogether.
Welcome back. We're taking you now to a story of both rivalry and friendship, and one that's been right in the center of the sporting world over the last few decades. The tennis world is bidding farewell to an era. It's a heartfelt tribute from one legend to another, Roger Federer penning an emotional letter to Rafael Nadal as the Spanish superstar retires from tennis after 20 years of preparing his body, as he says, to die on the court.
The way that I would like to be remembered more is like a good person from a small village. I have been very lucky that the life gave me the opportunity to live unforgettable experiences because of tennis. No? So I just want to be remembered as a good person and a kid that followed their dreams and achieved more than what I ever did.
So that was Nadal, but the letter that we were playing out for you, in that you have Federer reminiscing about their epic rivalry friendship, the battles on and off the court they've shared, and obviously the unbreakable bond that's been underneath that for over 2 decades now, right from the early days of their careers to their final match together at the Lever Cup. Federer recounts the memories that they've shared, the laughter they've had, and all of the tears. The tennis world came together to pay tribute over the last few days, and social media, you would have seen this already, it's flooded with messages, memories and gratitude for the Spanish legend and everything he stood for. Fans and players sharing their favorite Nadal moments, right from his record-breaking 14 French Open titles to his countless comebacks again and again and his triumphs.
What an iconic time for tennis, no, in the world, of one leading the other, Federer leading the way, and so many others we'll see retiring in the months to come as well. The outpouring of love and respect for Nadal is also a testament of his enduring impact on the sport. As one chapter closes, another begins, and the world waits with bated breath to see what's next for this tennis icon. We on TBC take a moment to celebrate the remarkable career of Rafael Nadal and relive some of the most unforgettable moments from his time on the court, and the one he loved the most, the clay court. It's a tribute to the tennis legend and a celebration of his enduring legacy. Sit back and enjoy this one.
Okay, we're going to take you now from that story, one that's had our hearts sort of, gripped with emotion, now to a different story altogether, also to do with hearts. Imagine a heartbeat that's not just a sign of life, but instead a symbol of hope. This morning, we're actually going to be taking you right to the forefront of a groundbreaking medical breakthrough that is saving lives. We're going to have you meet a new kind of pacemaker. It's a tiny device that's making a huge difference.
A pioneering procedure that incision-free, it is also making the recovery time that's remarkably short. We bring you the story of a 47-year-old Ramrati who got a second chance at life. Dr. Balbir Singh, a leading cardiologist, is the man pushing the boundaries of medical science. With the help of this very, very tiny device, our producer Ashra went in to meet with both the beneficiary and the doctor on what this device is all about. Take a look.
बलबीर सर जी का ऑपरेशन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा बलबीर सर का शुक्रिया करते हैं.
At the heart of every beat, technology meets a new frontier. A device so small, it redefines the very concept of a pacemaker. For the very first time in Bharat, a patient's life has been saved without a single incision, a surgery that never was.
Imagine a life-saving heart procedure. No cuts, no stitches, and a recovery time so short that you can walk out of the hospital in just 24 hours. And that's exactly what happened here at the Max Specialty Hospital in New Delhi. A 74-year-old woman was saved by a groundbreaking device, the leadless pacemaker.
In a remarkable medical breakthrough, 74-year-old Ramrati, who faced severe complications from an infected pacemaker, was given a second chance at life without undergoing traditional surgery. The infected pacemaker had caused immense discomfort, leaving her in the need of urgent yet delicate care. Dr. Balbir Singh, the man leading this revolution, implanted the leadless pacemaker using a catheter-based approach, eliminating the need for any incisions or stitches. A pioneer in cardiac care, his dedication to innovation and patient-centric care is inspiring a new generation of medical professionals. This device is not just innovative, it's 90% smaller than traditional pacemakers and designed to prioritize patient comfort and safety.
First, it doesn't involve any stitch or cut. Then there are no leads which go into the heart. So we know that when leads go into heart and the pacemaker has an expiry of 8 to 10 years, which the conventional pacemakers have, there are going to be problems in long term. So we have seen 20% of people who get conventional pacemakers get one or the other problem.
Yeah.
So this avoids any leads in the heart. There is a small capsule which goes in. And second, it has a very long battery life, 15 to 20 years, which is very, very long, almost double than what the conventional pacemaker is offered. So with so many benefits happening, we have a population which needs it, the elderly populations, those who have kidney disease, need those veins through which it comes. There's many patients who have cancers and need lines to get them done. So we don't have to go through any lines, we just go in, put the capsule and that's it. It's a great technological advance. So if a man is wanting to go to the Mars, even medicine also wants to go up. So a conventional pacemaker involves a cut here, putting the leads into the heart and then putting a pacemaker. It has 2 leads which generally go into the heart. There are some pacemakers which have 3 leads, but it involves a cut. 2 leads which go through valves of the heart. Now this pacemaker is different because all the leads have been taken care of. The pacemaker fits on the surface of the heart. We attach it there through a device. We put it there and a small capsule attaches itself there. It has a battery loaded within it. So it's a miniature battery within it, which is very long life. And the requirement of the output required is very low because the battery is directly in contact with the heart. So it gives us so many benefits.
Just a day after the procedure, Ramrati is up and moving, a testament to the incredible impact of this tiny device. We speak to her and her son as they share their story of hope and recovery.
जो सर ने ऑपरेशन करा वो बहुत अच्छा करा और मेरा पहला ऑपरेशन जो ख़राब हुआ था वो भी इन्होंने ही ठीक करा। तो मैं इनसे बच्चों से कहने लगी कि मुझे कहीं दूसरी जगह दिखाओ और मैं यहाँ ठीक नहीं होने वाली, मुझे यहाँ से ले चलो। तो बच्चों ने निकाल लिया वहाँ से। फिर किसी ने बताया हमें कि मैक्स में आप ले जाओ। मैक्स में इनका नाम बताया सर का और सर का नाम बताने के बाद में फिर यहाँ पे इन्होंने सर जी ने इलाज करा। हाँ, मुझे कोई पता नहीं चला कब शुरू हुआ, कब लेके अंदर गए, कब कैसे हुआ, कोई बड़ा कट नहीं हुआ और आराम से इन्होंने डाल दिया। आधा पौन घंटा इसमें लगा अंदर जाके।
ऑलमोस्ट ये हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छा रहा। प्रोसेस भी जब इन्होंने किया तो हमें मतलब संतुष्टि मिली, कहीं से कोई कट नहीं हुआ, कोई इन्फेक्शन नहीं किस तरह का। एक छोटा सा उन्होंने बताया कि छोटा सा उसमें कट लगाया और एंजियोग्राफी के थ्रू उन्होंने उसके हार्ट के अंदर डाल दिया।
Leadless and limitless, this pacemaker isn't just a piece of technology. It's a symbol of how far medical science has come, where even the most complex heart surgeries are now incision-free. Measuring less than a tenth of a traditional pacemaker's size, this device is safe for removal if necessary and adaptable for future upgrades such as dual-chamber pacing. We asked Dr. Balbi to demonstrate the leadless pacemaker and show us how it's changing the face of cardiac care.
So we bend the cable and push this into the heart. So once my checklist is completed that this device is working fine, that is the time I will release it. So you will see that I have released it. Remove this capsule, this has been removed and we're checking whether this anchoring is okay. So we are happy now with this position and I will be able to cut the connection between the two by activating. And once that is done, we just pull the whole thing out and this remains in the heart and everything else will come out. You can see everything else came out and this is only thing left in the heart.
With every beat, a new era begins. A tiny device, a massive impact, and a promise that the best in cardiac care is yet to come. The revolution isn't just in the technology, it's in the hope it brings to thousands of patients waiting for a simpler, safer solution.
Now this pacemaker is different because all the leads have been taken care of. The pacemaker fits on the surface of the heart. We attach it there through a device. We put it there, and a small capsule attaches itself there. It has a battery loaded within it. So it's a miniature battery within it, which is very long life. And the requirement of the output required is very low because the battery is directly in contact with the heart. So it gives us so many benefits. It is a very, very safe procedure, the first thing. It is challenging, nevertheless, you have to learn. I went through a learning process. You have to understand how you have to do it properly. You have to understand that these are the possible complications, and these are one we have to avoid. It is progressing so fast that we expect that in the very near future, let me say 5 years or 10 years, most of the pacing will be like this. We are lucky, India is on the progress, so many foreign companies want to invest into India. So we got a product much faster than many other countries in the world. I'm part of many trials which come from US of exploring new devices, doing research. What we have lacked on is developing these devices in India, which is probably going to take a few years, and I hope that we start developing these in India.
We've seen a glimpse of the future today, a future where complex surgeries are less invasive, a shorter recovery period, and patients' comfort taking center stage. The leadless pacemaker isn't just about innovation. It's about giving patients their lives back safer and faster. With video journalist Pramod Kumar, this is Ashreya Kannan for CNN News 18.
All right, so that's something new that we learned today, a leadless pacemaker. So be sure to ask your doctor about that if you are, God forbid, getting into a situation of that sort. On that note, we're going to slip into a break. Back in a moment where we tell you all about AI. And this one is about the very interesting man, Spyros Margulies. He's a renowned venture capitalist and globally recommended expert on AI, fintech and insurtech. We'll get to chat with him on the other side.
It'll be decisive. There won't be votes for others. It'll be this way or that way.
Even though there are 6 parties instead of 4, the choice before the voter is one of 2. It's quite a binary choice. So it has to be either MVA or has to be Mahayuti.
I think we've got Pankaja Munde with us. Pankaja ji, namaste. The numbers are just coming through. The overall voter turnout is settling in. What's the situation on ground? What's your understanding?
Frankly, I've been traveling all over the state. I've been campaigning for a lot of assemblies. For me, I'm very, very sure the response we got while campaigning also, we are very sure that we will win with like proper margin. We will get... can you hear me? Because
Yes, I can. Yeah, I know you're on the move, but we can hear you. We can hear you. No, compared to June, May, June and abhi November, क्या फर्क पड़ा है? Is there a change in the situation on ground, and how has it changed? Because I know you got very emotional with what happened in your own constituency with the results at that time, and I was following it very carefully. But is there a shift? Is there a change in the mood on ground, and how?
Yeah, of course there is a change in the mood on the ground because I got emotional not because of the election results. I got emotional because of the suicides happened after my election result was declared. So I was very worried about the reaction from people, and they were very disheartened. But now what I am seeing here, the fake narrative created in the parliamentary election is totally minimized. Like there is no basically presence of fake narrative. So people are understanding this kind of campaigning is done to gain votes, and they are now focusing on the development issues and what the schemes we have as a government from Maharashtra government and central government, we have delivered. So we only totally focused on that. And we are getting very, very good response.
Just getting our thoughts on the two exit pollsters who have come in so far, PMark and Matriz.
Sure.
Both PMark is giving about 137 to 157 to the Mahayuti. Matriz is given anywhere between 150 to 170. That's the gap for Matriz. So two people who are saying that somewhere it is the Mahayuti that is coming in, perhaps comfortably around 150 is the number, 154 is the median. Will you take this number, or do you believe otherwise?
Yeah, nothing lesser than this. Nothing lesser than this. We will take, I'm very sure we'll get clean majority. We'll get Bahumat Sarkar.
Ms. Munde, all of this, of course, depends on how the BJP bounces.
Welcome back, and it's time to sort of bring back a segment that we haven't for you in a while, which is keeping up with AI. And today we get you a special conversation that's at the intersection of technology and finance. We meet with Spyros Margries, a renowned venture capitalist and a globally sort of recognized expert in AI, fintech, insurtech as well.
Right, so we'll tell you a little bit more because he himself is ranked as the world's #1 fintech influencer. This is by Analytica in 2020. Now, Spyros is here to share his insights on the power of AI, how it can be transformative, and the role AI and fintech play in sync. Our colleague Anand Narsimhan brings this exclusive conversation. Take a look.
Let me first ask you, you have dabbled, you're a venture capitalist, you've dabbled in, you've set up a lot of companies and you're on the boards of many companies. How do you see the current scenario with respect to technology when we look at artificial intelligence on the one hand and also the fintech market itself? Let's start from there.
I believe it's a very good question. And because, fintech has been around for a long time, even before it was called fintech. But the banks, financial institutions caught up with fintech in many respects. So AI gave fintech and the financial industry like a new life. So what we see now and going forward, we will see new fintech offerings that will differentiate themselves from the big players. So basically AI, artificial intelligence, gave those companies and will give those companies new life because it gives them new possibilities.
We were a generation, and I'd like to count myself as part of the generation, which saw technology evolve and evolve within a decade. I started when there were PCOs, there were the first computers, and then there were pagers, and then technology just boomed. The current generation is born into technology. The next 5-6 years, how do you see this changing? Because people say that even before you think technology is advanced, it's moving so fast, it's so dynamic. What's your outlook? How do you see the next 5-6 years or the decade evolving with respect to technology?
I think things advance so quickly as we see in AI, and which is this just what we see now. We don't even know what's in the pipeline, or we can guess. And I think we will have more social issues than. Technology will evolve in a way that people will not have to understand it, but they will be able to use it, and in a way it will give them a fantastic user experience, from information, translation. I mean, a lot of things will be so personalized. So from walking to a store and my glasses might tell me, hey, Spirits, you can buy this. It's all right, buy it, because we have the budget for it and you still can go on vacation. So in some ways, this AI agent will make our life much easier, better, but maybe technology advances so fast, not maybe, it does, that the issue will be for governments in order to make sure that we don't leave people behind as much, because we have to reskill people, but there's only so much reskilling you can do. I mean, and even if you reskill, maybe you're not going to get paid as much, but there are opportunities out there. But I think the speed is so fast that even people, not people like me, but anyone who is in the AI space, I'm an investor in many companies, it's just mind-boggling how fast things moving. And even if we stop it, that's not a solution. No government can stop it. It's because AI is, I don't want to use the word, it's a powerful tool for many things, for the economy and for the governments, you know. So in order to provide better service to customers, to provide better service to its citizens, to protect itself against cyber attacks. So there are a lot of benefits, but as I like to say, is technology like a knife. You can use it to cut bread, or you can use it to hurt someone. And that's how technology is. We are focused on the benefits of technology. But it is something that we have to think hard about it, how to use it, how to develop it, and how to regulate it. I'm not for regulation though, but there has to be some regulation.
It's a code. So somebody is writing this code and it's evolving on its own. So
yes.
Is it possible to control and put in an inbuilt filter on the AI or on the code that's written so that it causes more good than harm? Is that possible? Or after some time it's going to spiral out of the main code itself?
I think it's going to go spiral out. You know, even now, Altman, I think I read something about Altman says, you know, they know kind of what to do, what the OpenAI does, you know, the algorithm, but they don't really know how. I mean, they know and they don't, you know, and that's, we're talking now. You know, I mean, it's a logical conclusion that eventually, not now, I don't know when, we will have no clue what it does and why it does it. I mean, that's not something nice to say, but I mean, I think our audience, you know, when we speak to people, we always have to be optimistic, which innovation is something positive, but of course, with a filter, you know, with also showing what could go wrong.
Because see, when we look at platforms, you talked about OpenAI, ChatGPT, some of these platforms, there are already cases of hallucinations. So it's actually making up things and telling you things. And there's a lot of proof doing the rounds here where people have tested this. Now, that's a scary part. Now, how do we deal with this? Can those in technology, can those who are developing this tech, are they going to be able to control this, or this is something that humanity will have to live with?
I think we probably can control it because eventually that we have some sources, some ChatGPT, large language models that derive their data, etc., and the information from a trusted source.
Okay, let's take you now to a special section on financial markets. It's powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. First, overview on the markets themselves. Let's take a look. GIFT Nifty signaling a weak opening for Indian stock markets. Asian markets are declining in early trade. This is on a lackluster mood that continues in US markets. Commodities opened higher on Thursday. Zinc and lead both surging. Gold prices are rising for the third session. This is on renewed tensions in Russia and Ukraine. And lastly, crude oil prices are gaining on early trades.
All right, let's look at the sector in focus this morning. Dealership of premium cars is a great proxy to play the growing sort of premiumization trend. Now, while car demand was sluggish for a while, it appears to have picked up in the festive months. Now, most auto manufacturers have a decent pipeline to offer, and the service business is a sticky, high-margin business insulated from the vagaries of demand fluctuation. Now, if you want to know more about that, you can log into Money Control Pro to find out more about the automobile sector and various other actionable insights on the markets. It is a premier destination for all the investing views and financial insights you will ever need. Brought to you by Money Control.
All right, we're at the end of the show. We hope you found our discussions today helpful, especially the breakdown on pollution, what's actually causing it, what Delhiites should be asking for from their government, and of course, how to protect yourself. Speaking of protecting yourself, that's a big thing on all of our minds right now.
Yeah, all our minds, and I need to Google some ways to get my throat back and my voice back. Maybe we'll do a show on that as well and share some insights with you. On that note, we're going to slip into say goodbye for the moment. See you again tomorrow, 8 a.m. Tata. Goodbye.
It'll be decisive. There won't be votes for others. It'll be this way or that way.
See, even though there are 6 parties instead of 4, the choice before the voter is one of 2. Right. It's quite a binary choice. So it has to be either MVA or has to be Mahayuti.
I think we've got Pankaja Munde with us. Pankaja ji, namaste. The numbers are just coming through. The overall voter turnout is settling in. What's the situation on ground? What's your understanding?
Frankly, I've been traveling all over the state. I've been campaigning for a lot of assemblies. For me, I'm very, very sure the response we got while campaigning also, we are very sure that we will win with like proper margin. We will get... can you hear me? Because
yes, I can. Yeah, I know you're on the move, but we can hear you. We can hear you. No, compared to June, May, June and abhi November, क्या फर्क पड़ा है? Is there a change in the situation on ground, and how has it changed? Because I know you got very emotional with what happened in your own constituency with the results at that time, and I was following it very carefully. But is there a shift? Is there a change in the mood on ground, and how?
Yeah, of course there is a change in the mood on the ground because I got emotional not because of the election results. I got emotional because of the suicides happened after my election result was declared. So I was very worried about the reaction from people, and they were very disheartened. But now what I am seeing here, the fake narrative created in the parliamentary election is totally minimized. Like there is no basically presence of fake narrative. So people are understanding this kind of campaigning is done to gain votes, and they are now focusing on the development issues and what the schemes we have as a government from Maharashtra government and central government, we have delivered. So we only totally focused on that. And we are getting very, very good response.
Just getting our thoughts on the 2 exit pollsters who have come in so far, PMark and Matriz. Both PMark is giving about 137 to 157 to the Mahayuti. Matriz is given anywhere between 150 to 170. That's the gap for Matriz. So 2 people who are saying that somewhere it is the Mahayuti that is coming in, perhaps comfortably around 150 is the number, 154 is the median. Will you take this number, or do you believe otherwise?
Yeah, nothing lesser than this. Nothing lesser than this. We will take, I'm very sure we'll get clean majority. We'll get Bahumat Sarkar.
Ms. Munde, all of this, of course, depends on how the BJP bounces back in Vidarbha. What are the conditions on the ground there for a resurgence of the BJP in both these areas, Vidarbha and Marathwada, where they didn't do so well about 5 months ago?
Yeah, there are 2 totally different conditions. As I said, the narrative in parliamentary election was totally different. The fight was totally different. It was...
Hello and good morning, viewers. Thank you for tuning in to CNN News 18. I'm Shen Elizabeth Matthew. Let's begin this bulletin with the international news that is coming in right now. President of Guyana, Dr. Irfan Ali, conferred the Order of Excellence, the country's highest civilian honor, on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed gratitude to President Irfan Ali for receiving Guyana's highest award, emphasizing that it represents 1.4 billion Indians. Now, he highlighted the strong relations between India and Guyana, rooted in shared history and mutual trust. So, this is the second topmost award that we are in fact seeing in matter of about 3 to 4 days. Remember, the Prime Minister is in fact in a 3-nation tour, and it started with Nigeria, then he went to Brazil for the G20 summit, and right now he is in Guyana, where he has in fact received the topmost Excellency Award from the Guyana authorities. And I'm joined by my colleague Siddhant Mishra on this broadcast. Siddhant, a very good morning to you. This is in fact a proud moment for Indians, of course, considering how during the COVID-19 we have in fact seen how India was in fact able to send out vaccines and medicines across 150 countries, and this is being appreciated now, and Guyana is one country that has appreciated the effort and is according the Prime Minister with this highest civilian award.
Well, that's right, Sharon. And in fact, in the 5-day visit of Prime Minister Modi, he has been conferred with the highest honors awards by 4 nations, Sharon. It started with Nigeria, after which Nigeria, after Dominica, Guyana and Barbados. All these 4 nations have announced highest honors for Prime Minister Modi. Perhaps talks about Prime Minister Modi's growing popularity, and also Sharon, one of the biggest achievement of Prime Minister Modi's foreign policy has been that India has managed to establish, connect with the countries from the global south. Not just connect, but the confidence that India has built as far as the global south countries are concerned. And this is perhaps the reason that award after award are being conferred on Prime Minister Modi. So in 5-day visit, he has been conferred with the 4 awards by 4 different countries. So let's not look at it only with the view of India had sent vaccines during the COVID times, but it has more to do with Prime Minister Modi's leadership. Sharon, let's start from last year's G20. The inclusion of African Union in the G20 perhaps proves that how much importance India gives to the countries from the global south. Even when Prime Minister Modi went